The Montenegro mansion gleamed against the California coast like a fortress of glass and steel. Inside, Gabriel Montenegro sat surrounded by monitors, their blue light casting shadows across his sharp features. At 34, he'd built an empire. At 34, he trusted no one. The betrayal 5 years ago had taught him that lesson. His business partner, his closest friend, had tried to destroy everything. Since then, Gabriel had lived behind walls and cameras, watching the world but never truly part of it. Mrs. Winters knocked on his office door, her silver hair catching the afternoon light. "The new cleaning specialist started today," she said. "Luna Hayes. I think you'll find her work satisfactory." Gabriel barely looked up from his screens. "Background check?" "Clean. She's been supporting her younger sister through school. Works hard, keeps her head down. Good. Make sure she knows the restricted areas." 3 floors below, Luna Hayes moved through the guest wing with quiet efficiency. The mansion was overwhelming, almost obscene in its luxury, but she'd learned not to be intimidated by wealth. She needed this job. Emma's college tuition depended on it. The observatory room took her breath away. Floor-to-ceiling glass, an expensive telescope, views of the endless Pacific. She started dusting, taking pride in every surface she restored to perfection. Then the cleaning solution bottle slipped. The cap wasn't secured. The industrial-strength liquid splashed across her uniform, soaking through immediately. The chemical burned her skin. She needed to change. Now. Luna glanced around the empty room. Mr. Montenegro was in meetings all morning. Mrs. Winters had said so. The nearest bathroom was 2 floors away, but she had a spare uniform in her cart. She moved behind a large sculpture, working quickly, thinking only of getting back to work. She had no idea about the cameras. No idea that in his office, Gabriel was reviewing security footage when her image appeared on his monitor. His finger froze over the mouse. Luna was changing, completely unaware, moving with innocent efficiency. There was nothing deliberate about it. Just a young woman dealing with an accident. Gabriel's heart pounded. He closed the feed immediately, his hands shaking with anger. Not at her, at himself, at his system. The cameras were meant to protect property, not violate privacy. He deleted the footage. Every copy, every backup. Then he disabled the observatory camera entirely. For hours afterward, he couldn't focus. He kept seeing her face from yesterday's brief introduction. She'd looked him directly in the eyes with no calculation, no agenda. Just quiet respect. That afternoon, Gabriel made a decision that surprised even him. "Mrs. Winters, I need to speak with Luna Hayes." 4 o'clock. "In my office." Mrs. Winters raised an eyebrow. Gabriel never spoke directly with the cleaning staff. "Is there a problem?" "No. A security matter I need to discuss with her. Privately." When Mrs. Winters left, Gabriel paced his office, rehearsing words he'd never had to say before. He'd negotiated billion-dollar deals without breaking a sweat. But this was different. At exactly 4 o'clock, Luna knocked softly. "Come in." She entered tentatively, hands clasped, nervousness barely concealed beneath her composure. "You wanted to see me, Mr. Montenegro?" Gabriel gestured to the chair. "Please sit." She perched on the edge, ready to flee if necessary. He'd planned to ease into this. But looking at her expectant face, directness seemed kindest. "Luna, there was an incident today involving our security system." Her face paled slightly. "This morning, in the observatory room, you had an accident with cleaning solution and needed to change your clothes." Understanding dawned in her eyes, followed by mortification. The color drained from her face completely. "Oh my God," she whispered. "There are cameras." "There were," Gabriel said quickly. "I've deleted the footage, all of it, and I've disabled that camera permanently." Luna stood abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. "I need to resign." "No." Gabriel stood too, his voice firm. "You did nothing wrong. This is my fault. My system invaded your privacy. You saw me." Her voice cracked, humiliation flooding her features. "For seconds. I closed it immediately. Luna, please sit down." She remained standing, her body rigid with shame. "Why are you telling me this? You could have said nothing." "Because you deserve to know. And because..." Gabriel ran a hand through his hair, a rare moment of uncertainty, because I need you to understand that what happened was a violation of your privacy, and I take full responsibility." Luna's eyes searched his face, looking for deception, for manipulation. She found only something she hadn't expected: guilt, genuine, raw guilt. "What do you want from me?" she asked quietly. "Nothing. I want you to keep your job if you're willing. The pay will increase by 30%. And I want to apologize. Billionaires don't apologize to cleaning staff. This one does." Gabriel held her gaze. "I'm sorry, Luna." The silence stretched between them, heavy with unspoken things. Luna should have walked out, should have run, but something in his steel-gray eyes kept her rooted to the spot. "I need this job," she finally said. "My sister needs me, I know. That's why I'm asking you to stay." Luna nodded slowly, not trusting her voice. "One condition," Gabriel added. "If you ever feel uncomfortable here, if anything ever makes you want to leave, you tell me directly." "Not Mrs. Winters, me. Why would you care?" Gabriel's expression shifted, revealing something vulnerable beneath the billionaire's armor. "Because I know what it's like to feel powerless. And I won't be responsible for making anyone feel that way again." Luna studied him for a long moment. Then she extended her hand. "Okay, Mr. Montenegro. I'll stay." Their hands met, and Gabriel felt electricity shoot through his arm. Luna felt it too. Her eyes widened slightly before she pulled away. "Thank you for your honesty," she said softly, then turned toward the door. "Luna?" She paused, looking back. "Call me Gabriel, at least when we're alone." She nodded once, then disappeared into the hallway. Gabriel stood alone in his office as the sun set over the Pacific, wondering what he'd just started. He'd spent 5 years building walls. Now, in one afternoon, he'd begun tearing them down. He didn't notice Mrs. Winters watching from the security monitor in her office, a knowing smile on her face. She'd seen that look before, years ago, when Gabriel's father had first met his mother, and she'd seen something else on the footage from the hallway camera. The way Luna had touched the spot where Gabriel's hand had held hers, a confused expression crossing her face before she hurried away. Some walls, Mrs. Winters thought, were meant to fall. But Gabriel's office phone rang, shattering the moment. His business partner from New York. The one person he'd trusted since the betrayal. "Gabriel, we need to talk. About the Montenegro Industries acquisition. About the surveillance technology we're developing." Gabriel's blood ran cold. "What about it?" "I've been approached by someone willing to pay a lot of money for access to your security systems, including the cameras in your home." "Who?" The silence on the other end lasted too long. "Marcus, who approached you?" "That's the thing, Gabriel. I don't think you're going to like the answer." Gabriel's hand tightened around the phone. "Marcus, tell me who approached you." "It was someone from inside your own company. They knew about the private security system, about the cameras in your mansion. They wanted access to everything." The room tilted. "Who?" "James, your head of security." Gabriel felt the walls closing in. James had been with him for 3 years. Vetted, trusted, loyal. Or so he'd thought. The betrayal tasted like copper in his mouth. "How much did they offer you?" $2 million. I told them to go to hell, obviously. But Gabriel, if James is selling access to your systems, who knows what footage he's already copied? Who knows what he's seen? Gabriel's mind raced to this morning. To Luna. To the deleted footage. Had James already made copies before he could erase it? "I need to handle this. I'll call you back." He hung up and immediately accessed his security system, running diagnostics. His fingers flew across the keyboard, searching for unauthorized access, copied files, anything. There. A backup drive. Created at 10:47 a.m. Right after the incident with Luna. James had copied the footage before Gabriel could delete it. Gabriel's vision went red. He grabbed his jacket and stormed out of his office, taking the stairs 2 at a time to the security office on the first floor. James sat at his desk, multiple monitors showing live feeds from around the estate. He looked up as Gabriel entered, his expression neutral. "Mr. Montenegro, something I can help you with?" "The backup drive. From this morning." "Where is it?" James's face betrayed nothing. "Standard protocol. All footage is backed up to external drives every 6 hours. Don't play games with me." You made a manual backup at 10:47 of one specific camera. Why? Something flickered in James's eyes. I don't know what you're talking about. Gabriel moved fast, slamming his hands on the desk. Marcus told me about the offer. $2 million for access to my private security. How much are you planning to sell that footage for? James leaned back, his facade cracking into a cold smile. You deleted it. I wondered why. Then I watched it myself. He paused. That cleaning girl, Luna, she's pretty, isn't she? I bet certain websites would pay very well for footage of an innocent young woman changing clothes in a billionaire's mansion. Gabriel's fist connected with James's jaw before he could think. The security chief crashed backward, his chair slamming into the monitors. Where is the drive? James wiped blood from his lip, laughing. You think I'd keep it here? It's somewhere safe. Insurance in case you ever tried to fire me? You're done. Get out of my house. I don't think so. James stood, straightening his jacket. You fire me, that footage goes live. Every tabloid, every gossip site, every dark corner of the internet. That girl's life will be destroyed. And everyone will know the great Gabriel Montenegro was watching. Gabriel's hands shook with rage. How much? $5 million, cash. Then I disappear, and the drive disappears with me. You're extorting me. I'm securing my retirement. James moved toward the door. You have 48 hours to decide. The drive stays safe until then. But after that, if I don't get my money, Luna Hayes becomes famous for all the wrong reasons. He left Gabriel standing alone in the security office. Fury and fear warring in his chest, Gabriel had to tell Luna. She needed to know. But how could he explain this without revealing that he'd failed to protect her? That his own employee had turned her moment of vulnerability into a weapon? He found her in the library, dusting the upper shelves. She looked peaceful, focused on her work. The late afternoon sun streamed through the windows, catching the lighter strands in her chestnut hair. Luna, we need to talk. Now. She turned, startled by the urgency in his voice. Then she saw his face, his bloodied knuckles. What happened to your hand? Come with me, please. He led her back to his office, closing the door behind them. Luna stood in the center of the room, her eyes wide with concern. You're scaring me. What's going on? Gabriel paced, trying to find the words. This morning, when I deleted the footage, I thought it was gone. But my head of security made a backup before I could stop him. Luna's face went white. Someone else saw? James. And now he's trying to extort me. $5 million, or he releases the footage publicly. Luna swayed, gripping the edge of his desk for support. Oh God, this can't be happening. I won't let him do this to you. I'll pay him. I'll make this go away. $5 million? For me? Her voice rose, panic threading through it. I'm nobody. I'm just a cleaning girl trying to help my sister through college. You're not nobody. Gabriel stepped closer, his voice fierce. And I won't let him destroy your life because of my failure to protect you. Luna looked up at him, tears streaming down her face. Why do you even care? You don't know me. The question hung in the air between them. Gabriel realized he didn't have a good answer. At least not one he was ready to admit. Because it's the right thing to do. No. Luna shook her head. Rich men don't pay $5 million just because it's right. What do you really want from me? Gabriel felt something crack inside him. I don't want anything from you. I'm trying to fix my mistake. By paying a fortune to a blackmailer, that won't make him go away. People like that always come back for more. She was right. Gabriel knew she was right. But what choice did he have? Then what do you suggest? Luna wiped her tears, her expression hardening with determination. We go to the police. This is extortion. It's a crime. If we do that, the footage could become evidence. Public record. Every news outlet will get access to it. Then I'll live with it. I won't let you throw away $5 million because of me. I won't be responsible for that. Gabriel moved closer, close enough to see the flecks of gold in her brown eyes. You don't understand. I can afford the money, but I can't afford what happens to you if that footage goes public. I can't live with that? Why? She demanded again, her voice breaking. Why do you care so much? Because Gabriel's carefully constructed walls crumbled. Because when I look at you, I see something I thought I'd never find again. Someone genuine. Someone good. And I've been alone in this fortress for so long that I'd forgotten what that felt like. Luna stared at him, stunned into silence. I'm not asking you for anything, Gabriel continued, his voice rough with emotion. I'm not expecting anything, but I need you to let me do this. I need you to let me protect you. A knock interrupted them. Mrs. Winters entered without waiting for permission, her face grave. Gabriel, there's someone here to see you. She says she's Luna's sister. She says it's urgent. Luna's face went pale. Emma, what's she doing here? A young woman appeared behind Mrs. Winters, her face tear-stained and terrified. She couldn't have been more than 19. Luna! Emma rushed forward, grabbing her sister's arms. Someone sent me a video. Someone sent me a video of you, and they said unless you quit this job and leave tonight, they're going to send it to everyone. They're going to post it online. Luna's knees buckled. Gabriel caught her before she fell. What kind of video? Gabriel demanded. Emma pulled out her phone with shaking hands, showing them a text message. Attached was a blurred thumbnail image. Even pixelated, it was clearly from the observatory camera. The message read, "Your sister needs to learn her place. Make her leave Montenegro estate by midnight, or everyone sees what the billionaire saw. The choice is yours." Gabriel read it twice, his blood running cold. This wasn't about money anymore. This was personal. James didn't send this, Gabriel said quietly. What? Luna looked up at him, still leaning against his chest. The message says I was watching. It's trying to make me look like a predator. James wants money. This is something else. Then who? Mrs. Winters asked, her voice tight with fear. Gabriel's mind raced through possibilities, landing on the one person he'd thought was safely in his past. Catherine, he said to Mrs. Winters, using her first name for the first time in years. 5 years ago when my business partner betrayed me. His wife. Do you remember her name? Mrs. Winters' eyes widened with understanding. Victoria. Victoria Hayes, Luna gasped. That's my mother's name. But she died when I was 12. Maybe not, Gabriel said grimly. Maybe she just disappeared. Emma's voice was barely a whisper. Mom always said she worked for a wealthy family. She said they destroyed her life. She said she'd never forgive them. Luna pulled away from Gabriel, horror dawning on her face. Are you saying my mother is doing this? That she sent me here deliberately? I'm saying, Gabriel replied, his voice hard as steel, that we need to find out who Victoria Hayes really is, and what she wants with both of us. The office door burst open. A woman in her 50s stood in the doorway, elegant and cold, her eyes fixed on Luna with an expression of twisted satisfaction. Hello, daughter, she said. Surprise? I'm not dead, and everything you thought you knew about your life is a lie. Luna stared at the woman in the doorway, her mind refusing to process what she was seeing. The face was older, harder, but unmistakable. Her mother? Alive? No, Luna whispered. You died. We buried you. Emma and I, we mourned you for 14 years. Victoria Hayes stepped into the office, her designer heels clicking against the marble floor. She wore wealth like armor, everything about her screaming money and power. You buried an empty casket, darling. I needed to disappear, and you two were better off without me. Emma sobbed openly. You let us think you were dead? Oh, don't be so dramatic, Victoria said coldly. You survived. You clearly turned out fine. Gabriel moved between Victoria and the sisters, his voice lethal. Get out of my house. Your house. Victoria laughed, the sound sharp as broken glass. This should have been my house. Your father and his precious Montenegro Industries destroyed everything. He stole my husband's ideas, drove him to bankruptcy, pushed him until he had nothing left. So yes, Gabriel, I came back, and I wanted to hurt you the way your family hurt mine. My father beat your husband in a fair business competition, Gabriel said through gritted teeth. Richard Hayes tried to sue for patent infringement and lost. Every court sided with Montenegro Industries. Because you had better lawyers. Because you had money. Victoria's composure cracked, revealing the rage beneath. Richard killed himself because of what your family did. He put a gun in his mouth rather than face his failures. Luna gasped. Dad committed suicide? You told us it was a heart attack. I told you what you needed to hear, Victoria snapped. And then I planned. For years, I planned how to make the Montenegro family suffer. Gabriel's fists clenched. So you sent your daughter here. You manipulated her into taking a job just so you could humiliate her? Destroy her reputation? I sent her here to destroy you. Victoria's eyes glittered with malice. I wanted you to care about someone. I wanted you to let someone in, and then I wanted to rip it all away while you watched." "You're insane," Mrs. Winters said quietly. "I'm justice." Victoria pulled out her phone. "See, Gabriel, you deleted the footage. But James sent me a copy before you could. He's been working for me for months. Every security protocol, every password, every private moment. All mine. James works for you?" Gabriel's voice was deadly calm. "Worked. Past tense. He's on a plane to the Cayman Islands with his money. But I still have everything he gave me." Victoria smiled at Luna. "Including that lovely footage of my daughter changing clothes in your observatory." Luna felt bile rise in her throat. "You'd do this to your own child? You stopped being my child when you took their side." Victoria's mask slipped completely. "You worked for them. You cleaned their floors. You were supposed to find evidence, to help me destroy them from the inside. Instead, you look at him like he's some kind of hero. He is more of a parent than you ever were," Luna said, her voice shaking with fury. "He told me the truth. He tried to protect me. What have you ever done except lie?" Victoria's hand flew out, slapping Luna across the face. The crack echoed through the office. Gabriel moved instantly, grabbing Victoria's wrist in an iron grip. "Touch her again and I'll have you arrested for assault. Let go of me. Not until you give me that footage. All of it, or what? You'll call the police? Go ahead. Luna's humiliation goes viral the second they put handcuffs on me. I've set up automatic uploads. The only thing stopping them is me entering a code every 6 hours." Emma stepped forward, her young face aged by betrayal. "Mom, please. Luna's your daughter. Don't do this to her. She chose them over family." "No," Luna said quietly, her cheek red from the slap. "You chose revenge over your daughters. You chose hate over love. You chose to become a monster." Victoria's expression hardened. "I'm giving you one chance. Both of you pack your things and disappear. Leave California. Leave Gabriel Montenegro alone. Do that, and the footage stays private." "And if we don't?" Emma asked. "Then tomorrow morning, the whole world sees your sister at her most vulnerable. Every news outlet, every social media platform, every search result with her name. She'll be famous. Ruined, but famous." Luna looked at Gabriel, seeing the torment in his eyes. He wanted to fight this. He wanted to find a way to win. But they both knew Victoria held all the cards. "I'll go," Luna said. "No." Gabriel's voice was absolute. "You're not giving up your life because of her. I don't have a choice. There's always a choice." Gabriel turned to Victoria, his expression calculating. "What do you really want? Money? I'll give you $50 million. Right now. But you hand over that footage and you disappear forever." Victoria laughed. "You think I want your money? I want you to suffer. I want you to know what it feels like to lose everything that matters." "Then you've already lost," Gabriel said quietly. "Because the thing that matters most to me is standing right here, and I will burn my entire fortune to the ground before I let you hurt her." Something shifted in the room. Luna felt it. The weight of Gabriel's words, the raw honesty in them. Victoria felt it too. Her smile faded. "You actually care about her. After 3 days, you actually care. Yes. Then you're weaker than your father. And this will be easier than I thought." Victoria pulled up something on her phone, her fingers moving quickly. "I just moved up the upload timer. You now have 1 hour before that footage goes live. Unless what?" Gabriel demanded. "Unless you sign over Montenegro Industries to me. The whole company. Every asset, every property, every dollar. You walk away with nothing." Gabriel's face went white. His company. Everything he'd built from the ground up. His entire life's work. "Don't," Luna pleaded. "Don't do this. It's not worth it." "Yes, it is." Gabriel looked at her, his gray eyes fierce and tender at once. "You're worth everything. You don't even know me. I know enough." Gabriel turned to Mrs. Winters. "Call my lawyers. Tell them to draft the transfer papers immediately." "Gabriel, no!" Mrs. Winters protested. "Do it." Victoria's triumph was palpable. "Smart choice. You have 45 minutes. Gabriel's lawyers arrived in 30 minutes, a team of 4 looking confused and horrified, as Gabriel explained what he needed. They argued. They pleaded. They told him he was making a catastrophic mistake. Gabriel signed anyway. As he put his name on the final page, Luna watched his hand shake. Just once. Then it steadied, and he finished with a flourish. "It's done," he said to Victoria. "Montenegro Industries is yours. Now give me the footage. All of it." Victoria took the papers, examining them carefully. Then she smiled. "No, the room froze. What?" Gabriel's voice was dangerously quiet. "I said no. I have your company. Why would I give up my leverage now?" Victoria backed toward the door. "Congratulations, Gabriel. You just lost everything and got nothing in return. Exactly like my husband." She disappeared into the hallway, her laughter echoing behind her. Gabriel stood motionless, staring at the empty doorway. Then he turned to Luna, and she saw something in his expression that terrified her. Not anger, not despair, something far more dangerous. Acceptance. "What are you thinking?" Luna whispered. Gabriel pulled out his phone, dialing a number. "Marcus, remember that surveillance technology we've been developing? The one that can track any digital file anywhere in the world? I need you to activate it, now." He listened for a moment, then his lips curved into a cold smile. "I don't care if it's not ready for market. I don't care if it's technically illegal. Find Victoria Hayes' phone signal and trace every file she's uploaded in the last year." Gabriel hung up and looked at Luna. "If she wants to play games, we'll play. But by my rules now." "You just gave up your entire company," Luna said, her voice breaking. "For me, why would you do that?" Gabriel stepped closer, cupping her bruised cheek gently. "Because some things matter more than money. Some things matter more than power. And standing here, looking at you, I finally understand what my father meant when he said he'd give up everything for my mother. But you barely know me. I know you're brave. I know you're loyal. I know you put your sister through school while working 2 jobs. I know you looked me in the eyes without fear or calculation." Gabriel's voice dropped to a whisper. "And I know that 3 days ago I was just existing. But now I'm living, because of you." Luna felt tears streaming down her face. "This is insane. This is completely insane. Probably." Gabriel smiled, and it transformed his face. "But I've spent 5 years being careful, being rational, being alone. I don't want to be alone anymore." His phone buzzed. "Marcus, we found her. She's at the Peninsula Hotel, room 2847. And Gabriel, you need to see what else we found. There are files going back 6 months. Plans, communications, everything. But there's something else. Something about your original business partner. The one who betrayed you. What about him? He's Victoria's brother. This whole thing goes back further than you thought." Gabriel's expression went dark. "Send me everything. I'm on my way." He turned to Mrs. Winters. "Keep Luna and Emma here. Lock down the estate. No one gets in or out. Where are you going?" Luna asked. "To end this." Gabriel headed for the door, then paused. "And Luna? When I come back, we're going to have a very different conversation. One that doesn't involve blackmail or revenge. Just you and me." He left before she could respond. Mrs. Winters put a comforting arm around Luna. "That man just gave up $1 billion company for you, dear. I don't think you understand what that means. It means he's reckless." "No." Mrs. Winters smiled sadly. "It means he's in love. He just doesn't know it yet." Emma sat down heavily, still processing everything. "Our mom is alive and she's evil. This is the worst day of my life." Luna joined her sister on the couch, pulling her close. "I know, I'm so sorry. None of this is your fault." Emma wiped her eyes. "But Luna, what he did, giving up everything. That's not normal. I know. So what are you going to do about it?" Luna looked toward the door where Gabriel had disappeared, her heart pounding. "I have no idea." Outside, Gabriel climbed into his car, his phone already ringing. "Marcus, again. Gabriel, wait. Before you go after Victoria, you need to know something about the footage." "What?" "It's been encrypted, with a 12-hour deletion timer. If we try to access it, it deletes automatically. The only way to stop it is with Victoria's biometric signature, her fingerprint specifically." Gabriel's hands tightened on the steering wheel. "So I need to get close to her, very close. And Gabriel? She knows about the tracking technology. She sent you a message. What does it say?" Marcus's voice was grim. "Come alone, or Luna's footage goes live in 10 minutes instead of an hour." Gabriel closed his eyes. This was it, the final move in Victoria's game. "I'm going in." "Gabriel, this could be a trap. She could have people waiting." She could have anything planned. I know. But I don't have a choice. Gabriel started the engine. If anything happens to me, make sure Luna and Emma are taken care of. There's a trust fund. My will. It's all arranged. Don't talk like that. Just promise me, Marcus. I promise. But Gabriel? Don't be a hero. Heroes die. And I think that girl back at your estate needs you alive more than she needs that footage destroyed. Gabriel didn't respond. He hung up and drove toward the Peninsula Hotel, watching the sun set over the Pacific. Behind him, his fortress, his home, and inside it, the first person he'd cared about in 5 years. Ahead of him, a woman consumed by revenge. And a choice that might cost him everything he had left. The Peninsula Hotel lobby gleamed with marble and gold, oblivious to the war about to unfold on its 28th floor. Gabriel rode the elevator alone, his reflection staring back at him from the polished brass doors. He looked like a man walking toward his execution. Maybe he was. The elevator chimed. Floor 28. The doors slid open. Victoria stood in the hallway, 20 feet away, her phone held up like a weapon. Right on time, she said, and alone as instructed. Smart boy, where's the footage? Gabriel asked, walking slowly toward her. On my phone, along with the deletion timer. We have 7 minutes left. Shall we go inside and discuss terms? She opened the door to room 2847. Gabriel followed, every instinct screaming danger. The suite was massive, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. And standing by those windows, turning as Gabriel entered, was the man who'd betrayed him 5 years ago. Richard Hayes. Alive. Hello, Gabriel, Richard said, his face haggard, but his eyes bright with madness. Surprise number 2. I didn't die either. Gabriel's world tilted. Victoria said you killed yourself. I let everyone believe that. Including my daughters. It was easier. Richard moved closer, and Gabriel saw the gun in his hand. Did you really think I'd just give up? Just let your father destroy me and walk away? My father won in court, legally, fairly. Your father had resources I could never match. Richard's voice rose, spittle flying. He had lawyers, connections, money. I had ideas, brilliant ideas, and he stole them. The courts disagreed. The courts were bought. Richard aimed the gun at Gabriel's chest. And now, finally, after years of planning, I'm going to take everything from you. Just like you took everything from me. Gabriel glanced at Victoria. So this whole thing, Luna, the footage, the extortion, it was all leading to this. Of course, Victoria smiled. Did you think I'd just take your company and leave? No, Gabriel, we want to watch you suffer first. We want you to understand what loss really means. You used your own daughter as bait. You traumatized her, terrorized her, just to hurt me. She was always expendable, Richard said dismissively. Both of them were. We needed someone inside your estate, someone you'd let your guard down for. Luna was perfect. Young, innocent, sympathetic, Gabriel's hands clenched. She trusted you. She loved you. She was a tool, nothing more. Victoria checked her phone. 5 minutes left. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to transfer the rest of your personal assets to us. Your house, your cars, your investments, everything. Then you're going to publicly confess that your father stole Richard's ideas. Destroy the Montenegro name completely. And if I refuse, then Luna's footage goes live. And Richard shoots you. Win-win for us, really. Gabriel looked at Richard, at the madness in his eyes. This man had faked his own death, abandoned his daughters, spent years plotting revenge. He was capable of anything. There's a third option, Gabriel said quietly. Oh? Please enlighten us. I've already traced the footage. My team knows where it is. They can access the servers it's stored on. Victoria laughed. No, they can't. It's encrypted with biometric security. My fingerprint specifically. They touch it without my permission. It deletes and uploads to 100 backup locations simultaneously. I know. That's why I needed you both in one place. Gabriel pulled out his phone, holding it up. I've been recording this entire conversation. Richard admitting he faked his death. Victoria admitting she used her daughters as tools. Both of you confessing to extortion, blackmail, and conspiracy. Richard's face went white. You're bluffing, am I? Marcus, you got all that? Gabriel tapped his phone. Marcus's voice came through the speaker. Every word. Already sent to my lawyers and the FBI? Victoria lunged for Gabriel's phone. He yanked it back and she stumbled. Richard raised the gun higher. "Give me that phone or I'll kill you right now." "Go ahead," Gabriel said calmly. "The recording's already backed up." "Already sent. Shooting me just adds murder to your list of crimes. You arrogant bastard." Richard's finger tightened on the trigger. The door burst open. FBI agents swarmed in, weapons drawn, shouting commands. Gabriel dropped to the floor as chaos erupted around him. Richard fired once, the bullet smashing into the window behind where Gabriel had been standing. Then agents tackled him, wrestling the gun away. Victoria screamed, trying to delete files from her phone before an agent grabbed it from her hands. In 30 seconds, it was over. Richard and Victoria were handcuffed, being read their rights. Gabriel stood slowly, his ears ringing from the gunshot. An FBI agent approached. "Mr. Montenegro? Are you all right?" "The phone." "Victoria's phone. I need it. It's evidence now, sir. There's footage on there. Private footage of an innocent woman. She has nothing to do with this. I need you to delete it, please." The agent looked uncomfortable. "That's not really protocol." "Then let me speak to your superior. Now." 20 minutes later, after Gabriel had explained everything, after he'd offered full cooperation and testimony, after he'd pulled every string he had left, an FBI supervisor made the call. "The footage in question isn't relevant to the criminal case. It can be deleted. Mr. Montenegro, if you'd come with me." They took him to a secure room where Victoria's phone lay on a table. The supervisor unlocked it using Victoria's confiscated fingerprint scan. "Show me which files." Gabriel scrolled through, finding the footage, every backup, every copy. He deleted them all, then emptied the trash, then ran a secure wipe. Only when he was certain did he breathe. "It's gone. All of it. Then we're done here. We'll need your full statement tomorrow." Gabriel nodded, exhausted beyond measure. He walked out of the hotel into the cool night air, pulling out his phone to call Luna. She answered on the first ring. "Gabriel? Are you okay? We heard sirens. Mrs. Winters tried to get information, but no one would tell us anything." "I'm fine. It's over. Your parents are in FBI custody. The footage is destroyed. Really destroyed this time." Luna's sob of relief came through the phone. "Oh God, I can't believe it. Is it really over?" "It's really over." "When are you coming home?" Home? She'd called it home. Gabriel felt something warm spread through his chest. "Soon. I have to give a statement tomorrow, but after that, I'm coming home." "Gabriel? Thank you. For everything. For saving me. For protecting me." "Luna." Gabriel's voice roughened. "I need to tell you something. But not over the phone. When I see you, face to face, what is it? Just wait for me, okay? Don't leave. Don't disappear. Just wait. I'm not going anywhere," Luna said softly. "I promise." Gabriel hung up and stood on the sidewalk, watching traffic flow past. He'd lost his company. Nearly died. Destroyed 2 lives in the process. But Luna was safe. And somehow that made everything else bearable. His phone rang. "Marcus. Gabriel, we have a problem." "What now?" "The transfer papers Victoria signed. I had our lawyers examine them. There's a clause. A loophole. She can't officially take control of Montenegro Industries for 30 days. During that time, the transfer can be contested if you can prove it was made under duress." Gabriel stopped walking. "Duress? Like blackmail and extortion?" "Exactly like that." "Gabriel, we can fight this. We can get your company back." "How long?" 30 days of legal hell. "But we'd win. You have the FBI recordings. You have everything you need." Gabriel looked back at the hotel, at the police cars still parked outside. Then he thought of Luna, waiting for him at the estate. "Do it. File the paperwork. Fight it. You're sure?" "This is going to be ugly, public. Every detail will come out. I'm sure. That company is my life's work. I'm not letting it go without a fight." Gabriel hung up and headed back to his car. The next month would be brutal. Legal battles, media scrutiny, every moment of tonight dissected and analyzed. But at the end of it, he'd have his company back. And maybe if he was very lucky, he'd have something else too. Someone who looked at him and saw more than his money or his power. Someone who'd believed in him when no one else did. Someone named Luna Hayes. Gabriel drove through the night, the city lights blurring past his windows. He'd spent 5 years hiding behind walls, 5 years afraid to trust, afraid to feel, afraid to live. No more. When he pulled up to the Montenegro estate, dawn was breaking over the Pacific. The mansion gleamed in the early light. And standing on the front steps, wrapped in a blanket, was Luna. She'd waited for him all night. Gabriel got out of the car slowly, suddenly nervous in a way he'd never been in any boardroom or negotiation. Luna walked toward him, and when she was close enough to touch, she said, "You look terrible." "I feel worse." Gabriel smiled despite everything. "But I'm here, and it's really over," Mrs. Winters told me. "About the legal battle, about getting your company back. I'm going to fight for it, for everything I built. But Luna, I need you to understand something." "What?" Gabriel took her hands, holding them carefully. "When I signed those papers, when I gave away my entire company, I didn't hesitate. Not for a second. Because in that moment, I realized that everything I'd built meant nothing compared to keeping you safe." Luna's eyes filled with tears. "Gabriel, I know this is fast. I know it's crazy. I know we barely know each other. But I can't pretend anymore." Gabriel pulled her closer. "I care about you, Luna Hayes. More than I thought I could care about anyone, and I want to know you. Really know you. Not as my employee, not as someone I'm protecting, but as someone I'm choosing, someone I want in my life." "You're right," Luna whispered. "This is crazy, I know. But I want it too." She looked up at him, her brown eyes shining. "I want to know the man behind the walls, the one who gave up everything to protect me, the one who's standing here at dawn looking exhausted and scared and absolutely terrified I'm going to say no." Gabriel laughed, the sound rusty from disuse. "Am I that obvious?" "Completely." Luna stood on her toes, bringing her face close to his. "So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this slow. No grand gestures. No billion-dollar sacrifices. Just two people getting to know each other. Deal?" "Deal." They stood there on the driveway as the sun rose, both of them battered and exhausted, and somehow more hopeful than either had been in years. From the mansion window, Mrs. Winters watched them, a satisfied smile on her face. Emma stood beside her, equally pleased. "Do you think they'll make it?" Emma asked. "Oh, my dear," Mrs. Winters said. "I've watched that boy grow up. I've seen him at his highest and his lowest, and I've never seen him look at anyone the way he looks at your sister." "But is that enough? After everything that happened?" "Sometimes," Mrs. Winters said wisely, "the worst storms bring people together instead of tearing them apart. Sometimes surviving the darkness is what teaches you to appreciate the light." Below, Gabriel finally worked up the courage to kiss Luna. It was gentle, tentative, full of promise and possibility. When they pulled apart, Luna smiled. "So what happens now?" "Now?" Gabriel took her hand. "Now we fight. For my company. For our future. For everything worth having. Together?" "Together." They walked back toward the mansion as the morning light painted everything gold. Behind them, the ocean continued its eternal rhythm, waves crashing against the cliffs. Steady, persistent, unstoppable. Just like them. But as they reached the door, Gabriel's phone buzzed one final time. A message from an unknown number. "Congratulations on your victory. But remember, Gabriel, revenge is a patient game, and I'm very, very patient. See you in 30 days. When you've lost everything again." Gabriel's blood ran cold. He showed Luna the message. "Who sent this?" she asked. "I don't know. But whoever it is, they know about the 30-day clause. They know about the legal battle. Another enemy? Maybe. Or maybe Victoria and Richard weren't working alone." Luna squeezed his hand. "Then we deal with it. Together." Gabriel looked at her, at the determination in her face, at the strength he'd somehow missed before. This woman had been through hell in the past 48 hours, and she was still standing, still fighting, still choosing him. "Together," he agreed. They went inside, closing the door behind them. Whatever came next, whatever battles awaited, they'd face it side by side. But in a small office across town, someone watched security footage on a laptop. Footage from the Montenegro estate, footage that James had uploaded before the FBI caught him, footage that showed everything. The figure smiled, closing the laptop. 30 days, Gabriel Montenegro. 30 days to enjoy your happy ending. Because on day 31, I'll show you what real betrayal looks like. The screen went dark. 29 days had passed like a dream, and a nightmare intertwined. The legal battle for Montenegro Industries had been brutal. Every day brought new headlines, new revelations, new attacks. The media had torn apart every detail of Gabriel's confrontation with the Hayes family, painting him as everything from a hero to a villain depending on which outlet you believed. But through it all, Luna had stayed. She'd moved into the guest wing permanently, refusing Gabriel's offers to move her somewhere safer, somewhere away from the spotlight. Instead, she'd faced reporters with quiet dignity, given one carefully worded interview defending Gabriel's character, and then shut down all media requests with a firm no comment. Emma had enrolled in online classes, staying at the estate rather than returning to her dorm. The sisters had grown closer through the trauma, processing their parents' betrayal together, and Gabriel had learned what it meant to let someone in. He'd shown Luna his vulnerabilities, his fears, the parts of himself he'd hidden for years. She'd seen him at 3 a.m, panicking over legal briefs. She'd held him when the weight of it all became too much. She'd reminded him why he was fighting. In return, he'd learned about her dreams, how she wanted to go back to school for business management, how she wanted to help other women from difficult backgrounds find their footing, how she saw the world as something to be improved, not just survived. They'd grown together in those 29 days, slowly, carefully, building something real on a foundation that had started with chaos. But today was day. The Gabriel stood in the courtroom, his lawyers beside him, waiting for the judge's ruling. The courtroom was packed with journalists, business associates, and curious onlookers. In the front row, Luna sat with Mrs. Winters and Emma, her presence a calm center in the storm. The judge, a severe woman in her 60s, looked over her reading glasses at the assembled crowd. "I've reviewed all the evidence in the case of Montenegro vs. Hayes, the recordings, the FBI testimony, the documented extortion. The duress under which Mr. Montenegro signed the transfer papers is clear and unambiguous." Gabriel's heart pounded. "Therefore, I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff. The transfer of Montenegro Industries is hereby declared null and void. All assets returned to Gabriel Montenegro, effective immediately." The courtroom erupted. Gabriel closed his eyes, letting relief wash over him. He'd won. After 30 days of hell, he'd won. His lawyer shook his hand vigorously. "Congratulations, Mr. Montenegro. Your company is yours again." Gabriel looked at Luna. She was smiling, tears streaming down her face. He wanted to run to her, to hold her, to tell her that none of it would have been possible without her. But as he started toward her, his phone buzzed. The unknown number from 29 days ago. "Time's up, Gabriel. Check your email, now." Gabriel's stomach dropped. He opened his email, finding a message from an encrypted address. The subject line read, "The Real Betrayal." Inside was a video file. Gabriel hesitated, then played it. The footage was grainy but clear enough. It showed Luna entering a coffee shop downtown. The timestamp was from 2 months ago, before she'd ever started working at the estate. The camera angle shifted, showing the person Luna sat down with. Victoria Hayes. Gabriel's world tilted. He watched, frozen, as Luna and Victoria talked for nearly an hour. He couldn't hear the audio, but he could see Luna nodding, taking notes, accepting an envelope from Victoria. The video ended. A text message appeared. "She knew who you were before she applied. She was working with Victoria from the beginning. Everything you think you know about Luna Hayes is a lie. Check the envelope she received. It contained blueprints of your security system. How do you think James got them?" Gabriel's hands shook. No, this couldn't be real. Luna wouldn't. She couldn't have. But the evidence was there. Undeniable. Devastating. Another message arrived. "Don't believe me? Ask her about the $50,000 Victoria paid her up front. Ask her about the weekly reports she sent detailing your routines, your vulnerabilities, your weaknesses. Ask her why she really stayed after everything fell apart." Gabriel looked across the courtroom. Luna was walking toward him, her smile fading as she saw his expression. "Gabriel, what's wrong? We won. It's over, is it?" His voice came out cold, distant. "Tell me something, Luna. When did you first hear about Montenegro Industries?" Luna's smile disappeared entirely. "What? What kind of question is that?" "Just answer it. When did you first learn who I was?" "When Mrs. Winters contacted me about the job. Gabriel, what's going on? You're lying. Gabriel held up his phone, showing her the video. This is you, 2 months before you started working for me, meeting with Victoria Hayes. Want to explain that? Luna's face went white. She grabbed the phone, watching the footage, her hands trembling. This isn't what it looks like. Then what is it? Because it looks like you were working with the woman who tried to destroy me. It looks like everything between us has been a lie. No. Luna's voice broke. Gabriel, please listen to me. I'm listening. Tell me why you met with Victoria. Tell me about the $50,000. Tell me about the weekly reports. Tears streamed down Luna's face. She approached me at my old job. She said she was a private investigator hired by your family to check on your security. She said your father's enemies were still out there, that you needed protection, but you were too stubborn to accept help. And you believed her? She showed me credentials. She showed me documents that looked official. Luna was openly sobbing now. She said you'd been hurt before, that you didn't trust easily, that someone needed to be inside your house to watch for threats. She paid me to take the job, to report back on anything suspicious. What did you report? Nothing. At first, just basic things. Whether strangers approached the estate, whether anyone seemed suspicious. But Gabriel, I swear to you, after the first week, after I met you, I stopped. I told Victoria I couldn't do it anymore. Did you tell her about my routines? My vulnerabilities? Luna's silence was answer enough. Gabriel felt something inside him shatter. Get out! Gabriel, please, get out of my house. Get out of my life. I never want to see you again. I was trying to protect you. I thought I was helping. You were spying on me. You were working for the woman who tried to destroy everything I've built. Gabriel's voice rose, echoing through the now silent courtroom. Everything you told me was a lie. Everything we had was built on deception. That's not true. What we have is real! We have nothing. Gabriel turned away from her. My lawyers will contact you about severance. You have until tonight to clear out your things. Gabriel, please don't do this. Luna reached for him, but he stepped back. Don't touch me. Don't call me. Don't come back. He walked away, leaving Luna sobbing in the middle of the courtroom. Mrs. Winters rushed to her, trying to comfort her, but Gabriel didn't look back. He'd learned his lesson about trust 5 years ago. He should never have forgotten it. The next week passed in a blur. Gabriel threw himself into reclaiming Montenegro Industries, working 18-hour days, sleeping in his office. He avoided the guest wing entirely. Mrs. Winters told him that Luna and Emma had moved out the night of the trial, that Luna had left a letter. Gabriel burned it without reading it, but late at night, alone in his office, he couldn't stop thinking about her, the way she'd smiled at him, the way she'd held him when the pressure became too much, the way she'd made him believe that maybe, just maybe, he could trust again, all of it a lie. On day 7, Marcus came to see him. Gabriel, we need to talk about Luna. There's nothing to talk about. Yes, there is. I did some digging into that video you received. The metadata, the encryption, everything. I don't care. You should. Because the video was edited, heavily edited. Whoever sent it to you cut out most of the conversation. They made it look like a conspiracy when it was actually something very different. Gabriel looked up slowly. What are you talking about? Marcus pulled out his laptop, opening a file. I tracked down the coffee shop. They keep security footage for 90 days. This is the full conversation with audio. He played it. Gabriel watched Luna enter the coffee shop, but this time, he could hear everything. Victoria's voice came through clearly. Thank you for meeting me, Miss Hayes. As I explained on the phone, I'm investigating threats to Gabriel Montenegro's security. Luna's voice, cautious and uncertain. I don't understand why you need me. Because you're applying for a cleaning position at his estate. You'll have access to areas others don't. I need you to watch for anything suspicious. Any threats. Anyone who shouldn't be there. This seems strange. Why not just tell Mr. Montenegro directly? Because he's been hurt before. He doesn't trust easily. If he knows we're investigating, he'll shut down, refuse help. But if someone he trusts is watching out for him, he'll be safer. The conversation continued. Luna asked questions, expressed doubts, but ultimately agreed, because Victoria had shown her fake FBI credentials and documents claiming to be from Gabriel's deceased father's security firm. The envelope Victoria handed her contained money. Yes, but also what Victoria described as emergency contact procedures, if Luna spotted any threats. Gabriel watched Luna's face in the footage. She wasn't scheming. She was concerned, worried, trying to do the right thing. "Keep watching," Marcus said quietly. The footage jumped forward 2 weeks. Another meeting. This time Luna was agitated. "I can't do this anymore. Something's not right about you or this arrangement." Victoria's voice turned cold. "You've been paid. You signed a contract. I don't care. Mr. Montenegro is a good person. He doesn't deserve to be spied on, even if you claim it's for his protection. I'm done. If you quit, I'll make sure you never work in this city again. I'll destroy your sister's college chances. I'll ruin you." Luna stood up, her voice steady despite the fear on her face. "Then do it. But I won't betray someone who's never done anything but treat me with respect." She walked out. Victoria sat alone, her expression turning vengeful. The footage ended. Marcus closed his laptop. She stopped working with Victoria 3 days after she started at the estate. Everything that happened after that, she had no knowledge of. She was as much a victim as you were. Gabriel felt his carefully constructed anger crumble. "Why didn't she tell me?" She tried. "In the letter she left, the one Mrs. Winters said you burned." Gabriel closed his eyes, remembering the envelope he'd thrown into his office fireplace without opening. "I destroyed her. I accused her of betrayal in front of everyone. I threw her out of my house. I wouldn't even listen. Yes, you did. So the question is, what are you going to do about it?" Gabriel stood up, grabbing his coat. "Where is she?" "She and Emma are staying in a motel on the east side. But Gabriel, she may not want to see you. You hurt her badly, I know, but I have to try. I have to tell her the truth. That I was wrong. That I'm sorry. That you what?" Gabriel met Marcus's eyes. "That I love her. That I think I've loved her since the first moment she looked at me without fear or judgment." "Then you better hope she's willing to forgive you, because that woman has been through hell, and you just added to it." Gabriel drove across the city, his heart pounding. The motel was run down, a far cry from the mansion Luna had lived in for the past month. He found her room number, knocked on the door. Emma answered. When she saw him, her face hardened. "You have a lot of nerve showing up here." "I know. I need to see Luna. Please, I know the truth now. I know she was set up." "She doesn't want to see you." "Emma, please. I made a terrible mistake. I need to apologize. I need to tell her." "Tell her what? That you destroyed her reputation? That you humiliated her in public? That you threw away everything you'd built together because you were too afraid to trust her?" "Yes, all of that. I need to tell her I was wrong. I need to tell her I'm sorry. I need to tell her I love her." Emma's expression softened slightly. "You love her?" "Yes, with everything I am. Please, Emma, let me talk to her." Emma stepped aside. "She's on the balcony. But Gabriel, if you hurt her again, I will make your life a living hell, billionaire or not. Understood." Gabriel walked through the small room to the balcony. Luna stood with her back to him, looking out at the city lights. She'd lost weight in the past week. Her shoulders were slumped with exhaustion and grief. "Luna," she turned, and Gabriel saw the devastation on her face, the dark circles under her eyes, the evidence of days spent crying. "You need to leave." "I know the truth. I saw the full footage. I know Victoria manipulated you. I know you tried to protect me. I know you stopped working with her. Luna, I'm so sorry. You didn't believe me." Her voice was hollow. "When I needed you to trust me, you chose to believe a video from an unknown number instead. You threw me away without even listening. I was scared. I was hurt. I'd been betrayed so many times that I couldn't see past my own fear. So you betrayed me instead." Luna wiped her tears. "You stood in that courtroom and told me to get out of your life. In front of everyone. You humiliated me, I know, and I will regret that for the rest of my life." Gabriel stepped closer. "But Luna, please understand. I was terrified of being hurt again. Terrified of losing everything. When I saw that video, all my old wounds opened up, and I lashed out at the person I cared about most. That's not love, Gabriel. That's fear. And I can't build a life with someone who'll abandon me the second things get hard. You're right. What I did wasn't love. It was cowardice." Gabriel's voice broke. "But what I feel for you, what I've felt since that first day, that's love. Real, terrifying, all-consuming love. The kind of love that made me sign away my company to protect you. The kind of love that makes me stand here now, knowing you might never forgive me, and tell you anyway. Luna turned away. It's too late, is it? Because I don't believe that. I think you're scared too. I think you fell just as hard as I did. And you're terrified of getting hurt again. I think that's why you're in this motel room instead of fighting for what we had. What we had was broken the second you chose not to trust me. Then let me earn your trust back. Let me spend every day for the rest of my life proving to you that I'll never make that mistake again. Gabriel, Luna's voice was barely a whisper. I can't go through that pain again. When you looked at me in that courtroom like I was nothing, like everything we'd shared meant nothing, it destroyed me. I know, and I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking for a chance. One chance to show you who I really am, not the scared, damaged billionaire hiding behind walls, but the man you helped me become, the one who laughs and trusts and lives instead of just survives. Luna finally turned to face him, tears streaming down her face. How do I know you won't hurt me again? You don't, and I can't promise I'll be perfect. I can't promise I'll never make mistakes. Gabriel moved closer until they were inches apart. But I can promise that I'll never give up on us. I can promise that I'll choose trust over fear. I can promise that I'll fight for you every single day. And I can promise that I love you, Luna Hayes. Completely, irrevocably, forever. You hurt me. I know. You broke my heart. I know. And you expect me to just forgive you? No, I expect you to make me earn it. Day by day, moment by moment, until you believe that when I say I love you, I mean it with every fiber of my being. Luna looked up at him, searching his face. I don't know if I can do this. Then let me help you. Let us figure it out together. Gabriel cupped her face gently. I spent 5 years alone because I was afraid. I don't want to spend another day without you. Please, Luna, give me a chance. For a long moment, Luna said nothing. Then she leaned forward, resting her forehead against his chest. I love you too, she whispered. I love you so much it terrifies me. Gabriel wrapped his arms around her, holding her like she was the most precious thing in the world. Because she was. Then be terrified with me. Let's figure this out together. They stood on that motel balcony as the city lights twinkled below, two scarred people choosing to be brave together. It wouldn't be easy. Gabriel knew that. They'd need time to rebuild trust. They'd need to learn how to fight without destroying each other. They'd need to figure out how to love each other without letting fear control them. But as Luna tilted her head up and kissed him, soft and forgiving and full of hope, Gabriel knew they'd make it. Because what they had was worth fighting for, worth the risk, worth everything. 3 months later, Gabriel stood in his rebuilt office, looking out at the Pacific. Montenegro Industries was thriving under his leadership again. The scandal had faded. Victoria and Richard were in prison. James had turned state's evidence and received a reduced sentence. And Luna Hayes was downstairs in what had once been the guest wing, now converted into offices for her new nonprofit helping women from difficult backgrounds get education and job training. She'd moved back into the estate 2 months ago, this time not as an employee but as an equal partner in every sense. They'd fought and made up and learned each other's triggers and boundaries. They'd gone to couples therapy. They'd built something real on the ruins of everything that had tried to destroy them. Mrs. Winters knocked on Gabriel's door. There's someone here to see you. A lawyer, Gabriel frowned. I'm not expecting anyone. He says it's about your father's estate. Apparently, there was a trust you didn't know about. The lawyer, an elderly man with kind eyes, laid out documents on Gabriel's desk. Your father set this up 30 years ago, before he died. It was meant to be activated only under specific circumstances. What circumstances? That you'd find someone worthy of the Montenegro name. Someone who'd pass 3 tests without knowing they were being tested. Gabriel's blood ran cold. What kind of tests? First, that they'd have integrity in the face of temptation. Your father had contingencies in place for anyone working in your home. Background checks that went deeper than you knew. Luna Hayes passed with flying colors. What was the second test? That they'd choose you over personal safety. When Luna was offered money to leave, she refused. Even when threatened, even when her sister was targeted, she stayed. And the third test? The lawyer smiled. That you'd choose her over your empire. When you signed away Montenegro Industries to protect her, you activated the final clause. I don't understand. Your father left you something, Gabriel. A second company. One he built in secret. away from all his known business dealings. It's been in trust for 30 years, growing, waiting, and as of today, it's yours. The lawyer slid a portfolio across the desk. Gabriel opened it, his eyes widening as he read. The company was worth nearly as much as Montenegro Industries. It was clean, scandal-free, and entirely separate from everything that had happened. Why didn't anyone tell me about this? Because your father wanted you to prove you were worthy of it. He wanted you to learn what truly mattered. Wealth means nothing if you have no one to share it with. Power means nothing if you use it to hurt the people you love. He learned that lesson too late. He wanted to make sure you learned it in time. The lawyer stood. Congratulations, Mr. Montenegro. Your father would be proud. After he left, Gabriel sat alone with the portfolio. His father, dead for 10 years, had left him one final gift, and one final lesson: trust is earned, love is chosen, and some things are worth more than all the money in the world. Gabriel went downstairs to find Luna. She was in her office, working on grant proposals, her hair pulled back in a ponytail, her expression focused and determined. "Hey," he said from the doorway. She looked up, smiling. "Hey yourself. How was your mysterious meeting?" "Life-changing." Gabriel walked in, closing the door behind him. "My father left me something. A company, a fortune, a legacy. That's wonderful. But that's not the life-changing part." Gabriel knelt down in front of her chair, pulling out a small velvet box. The life-changing part was realizing that none of it matters without you. That every dollar, every success, every achievement means nothing if I can't share it with you. Luna's hands flew to her mouth as Gabriel opened the box, revealing a ring that had belonged to his mother. "Luna Hayes, you walked into my life and tore down every wall I'd built. You showed me what it means to trust again, to love again, to live again, and I don't want to spend another day without you." Gabriel, I know we've only known each other for 5 months. I know it's fast. I know we still have things to work through, but I also know that you're the person I want to figure life out with. You're the person I want to fight with and make up with and build something beautiful with. Gabriel took a shaky breath. "Luna Hayes, will you marry me?" Luna slid off her chair onto her knees in front of him, cupping his face in her hands. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." Gabriel slipped the ring onto her finger, then kissed her like she was oxygen and he'd been drowning. They held each other on the office floor, laughing and crying and making promises for a future that finally felt real. Outside the office, Mrs. Winters and Emma high-fived quietly before walking away to give them privacy. "I told you," Mrs. Winters said. "Some walls are meant to fall, and some people," Emma added, "are meant to find each other." 6 months later, Gabriel and Luna married on the cliff overlooking the Pacific, with 50 close friends and family in attendance. It was small, intimate, perfect. As they exchanged vows, Gabriel looked into Luna's eyes and saw his future. Not the lonely billionaire he'd been, not the scared man hiding behind security cameras and locked doors, but someone better, someone brave enough to love and be loved in return. Luna looked back at him and saw the same thing. Not the cleaning girl trying to survive, not the woman who'd been manipulated and betrayed, but someone stronger, someone who'd fought through hell and come out the other side ready to build something beautiful. They'd both been broken. They'd both been scared. They'd both learned the hard way that trust is precious and easily shattered. But standing there on that cliff, the ocean crashing below, the sun setting in a blaze of gold and crimson, they made a choice. To be brave, to be vulnerable, to build a life together on a foundation of hard-won trust and even harder-won love. Because some love stories start with chance. Some start with fate. But the best ones start with a choice. The choice to trust again, to love again, to risk everything for the possibility of something real. Gabriel and Luna chose each other. Every day, in every way, and that made all the difference. Years later, when people asked how they met, Gabriel and Luna would smile at each other and say, "It's complicated." Because it was. Complicated and messy and painful and beautiful and absolutely perfect, and they wouldn't have had it any other way. The end.